Hi, I'm Josh Oakes. The video you're about to watch is of me in Southern California teaching parents the difference between the green zone, the gray zone, and the red zone. All of those zones are listed on this page. I encourage you to take a close look not only at the video you're about to see, but also each one of the apps that are listed in the different zones. Please become an expert. Please take the time to get ahead of your kids. That's why I've made this page available. If you enjoy this, please click the share buttons below. It's been shared over 5,000 times. Please join our newsletter, jump into one of our webinars, become an expert, get yourself a little bit ahead of your kids. I want you to dialogue with where your kids can go someday. Talk to them about college, talk to them about their future. Audit your kids online by searching for them in Google or go to Footprint Friday above. And then also, I want you to make sure that you're creating positive content for your kids someday. The speech you're about to see is what I do nationwide. I travel the country teaching kids about the positive side of social media. This page has a lot of negatives, unfortunately, areas at the very bottom. You see, the green zone is a place where your kids can start to hang out when they're ready and when you're ready for them to create a positive online image. The gray zone is all about an area where you as a family can hang out, but as soon as you're not with your kids on those apps, it can become problematic. And the red zone is an area where we suggest that you never let your kids hang out alone. It unfortunately is full of predators, of people that are bullies, and anonymous apps. So I encourage you, watch the video that's about to happen. I'm Josh. I'm so honored that you be part of our community to protect your children and your students. As always, keep it light, bright, and polite. Here's the video. Remember, our 3 steps are 1, audit your student, 2, have a dialogue with them about that audit and what's online, and 3, create content that helps them get to their future. Now, I'm going to show you a resource that's going to help you long after I'm gone. This is our website, Safe Smart Social, and perhaps the way that I was brought here today. There's a huge button on the front that says learn more about good and bad teen apps, and this button, when you click on it, it takes you to 3 zones. First, the green zone. The green zone apps, and no, the internet is not a safe place to be. But when you're ready, the green zone is a lesser of 3 evils, as these apps can be used to help a student, 14 years and older, to shine online and impress colleges and future employers. Next is the gray zone. This is a place where Snapchat lives and a few other apps. This is where it's a great time to have a dialogue with your kids about sexting, inappropriate behavior. Really, any of these zones is a good time for that. But this is the area where actually families can hang out together, and it's a little bit safer than just leaving your kids in the zone. And next is the red zone. This is the place where inappropriate content is rampant, bullying is rampant, and they are anonymous apps. We'll talk about those real quick too. All right, what if I have questions after you're gone, Josh? Each of these apps, each of these images I'm about to show you contains a 4 to 6 minute free video on our website that makes you an expert on the app. Each video comes with a 2-page guide that teaches you what the app does, why your kids like it, if it's good or bad, and how to talk to your students about it. Remember, dialogue is the secret application that is going to keep your family safe. We're going to give you a URL here in a second. Okay, why is the green zone good? Well, first, the green zone is productive. I do not want your students to waste their time. You see, posts can be discovered someday by Google, and their efforts and your students' efforts can be discovered by colleges. Next, professional. This is important. Colleges want and someday expect to find your students on these networks. Positive. Green zone networks are tied to a student's real identity, encouraging better behavior, and most of all, parent-friendly. You see, parents can track their kids' presence a little bit. I'm not all about tracking, but if you can get it, in addition to all these other things, hey, we'll take it. Okay, next. Now we're into the green zone. I'm going to go tread really lightly here because we're all on these now. We all know that Facebook is the godfather of all networks. You can post to it from a mobile device and also a tablet and a desktop based in the United States of America and publicly traded. It's not going to shift really quick and take your kids' data and do something else with it. Your kids aren't on it anyways. But if they were, that would be the case. Now, Facebook is no longer just one app. It is now a family of apps. You see, they also have Facebook Messenger, which is their direct messenger. And then also, there's Instagram. You see, Instagram started blowing up many years ago, and Facebook got really jealous. They said, this app that is mostly on a mobile device, you can't even post to it from a desktop, is blowing up with teenagers and tweens. Why is this? We are so jealous. So they went and they bought Instagram. So now these are all owned by the same company, right? Now it's good for you because it has built-in safety features and so on. But we're in the green zone. These are the areas that are productive, that can positively impact your students' results in the future. No, they're not safe, but they are safer, the lesser of the three evils. Next, we have LinkedIn. What are you talking about, LinkedIn, Josh? I have a middle schooler or a teenager. LinkedIn noticed that students were jumping on its network at such a rapid pace, they lowered the age restriction to 14 plus in the United States. What that means is that if you're a student, if you really want to talk to them about their future, this is a place to start looking at a resume, and here's why. LinkedIn turns off a few key features that are only for adults if you are 14, 15, 16, or 17. They hide your image, they hide your last name, they don't allow you to be marketed to, and it starts getting your student thinking about, am I thinking about this one part of LinkedIn that has volunteer experience? What am I going to do this summer to fill out this part? It starts planning for the future. Next is Pinterest. Many of us are familiar. Pinterest means pinning your interests. You can drag things from the web, but it will change your Google results in a way that is out of context. You need to be careful about every pin that your students are making, because it will change negatively sometimes their Google results, their Google image results specifically. Next, and these are videos you can get for free on our website. If you sign up for the newsletter, you will be sent a good video, a bad video, and a digital wisdom video. And this is one that's amazing. If you are ready to get your kid into their dream school and you want to apply, this is one to watch. It shows you a different way of looking at these apps that colleges agree with and employers like myself. Now we're on to Twitter. We're still in the green zone. We're going to look at 30 apps. We're at about app 7 right now. Twitter, we know that it's mostly mobile, but you can post 140 characters, images, video. But what's good and bad is a lot of students look to it as their to vent their drama, almost as their diary. But Twitter comes up public on a lot of people's Google results, so we need to be careful about that. Next is YouTube. I showed you how we changed Jamie's YouTube results, and I have an amazing video here. Here's the problem with YouTube. If you have students that are 13 or less, please do not leave them in front of YouTube alone. It can be worse than late night HBO. You see, there's all these pop-ups and there are advertisers that are vying for your students' attention. They don't know your student's age. They may think it's your demographic because you logged in. But you can learn just about anything on YouTube, from playing the guitar to fixing your car. Now we're on to the gray zone. These are the apps where your family can actually have fun online together, but you need to be super careful because anything less than wise could get them in trouble. What do I mean? Well, first we're on the Musical.ly app. And the Musical.ly app is an app where it's a popular app that lets users create lip-syncing videos with their family or their friends. Now this is a fun thing to do as a family because it lets you put music on top and do a lip-syncing thing, and the outcome is quite fun, and it can be a fun family thing to do. Even if you do not want to be on these apps, these sometimes are the place where your kids want to be. Next we have Periscope. Periscope did very well as a live video broadcasting app, and it was doing so well that Twitter bought them. So now Periscope is bought by Twitter. Periscopes are really kind of a bad idea to just hang out because from anywhere in the world people can broadcast. And that means that no one is monitoring it, and your students could see something inappropriate. Pokemon Go, many of us are familiar with that. It is an incredible augmented reality piece of technology. Your students aren't on it as much anymore. How many of your students used it in the last week? Yeah, only a couple of us. Yeah, exactly. It kind of died down, but it was the most downloaded app ever in less than 2 weeks, right? People were all over it. But it's a place where your students want to hang out. It's not super bad where there's predators chatting with your kids for the most part. So it's a place where you get to now go, hey, let's go out and get some steps. Let's Pokemon Go it in the park or whatever, right? Even if you don't like the app, it's a good place to hang out with your kids and do what they want. Next, no, this is not an app, but I get a lot of questions. Is text messaging safe? Well, it's default, built into phones and so on, but it's a very important thing to note. You can still block text messaging or people that are texting your kids within the phone. It's built into both Android and iPhone. We have a great video. If you click on any one of these, this one shows you this compared to other messaging apps. Now we're on to Snapchat. How many of our kids have Snapchat? Yeah, just about everybody in the room. You know, how many of you would like it if I explain to you how Snapchat works? Can I do that? Majority of the room. So I'm going to pretend like, and I live and work in Santa Monica, and at our office I can see Snapchat's new office from our window. They are moving in a few months, right across from us. I want to tell you how they market to your kids. Is that fair? I'm going to be Snapchat's marketing team for a second. Snapchat says this: hey kids, we're Snapchat. We are a free app based in Venice Beach and Santa Monica, and you can download us on your iOS or your Android phone for 100% free, and you can take pictures and up to 10 seconds of video for free, and you can add squigglies and dog faces and do all this silly stuff and filters and colors and neat stuff, and then you can send it to a friend or 3 friends. And you can send it to them for free. They can download the app. There's no catch. Trust us. You can send it to them, and they will then be able to view it for up to 10 seconds, and they can watch the video. And we promise that once they viewed it, it will disappear. It will go poof. And we're so dedicated to that we made our logo a ghost to show you that it goes poof and deletes. Now, do we as adults believe that? No, but do your kids believe that? Yeah, and you know why? Because you're amazing parents. You would never let a liar in your home. You'd never let somebody around the dinner table that lies to your children. No, they go, Mom, this app, trust me, it's good, it's okay, it's free, right? But we all know, and we've seen on the news, how things get hacked every day. Something new comes out, right? There's a huge dating site, 400 million emails yesterday or the day before, right? Now, your kids are starting to behave a little bit better on Snapchat for the most part, but this is a chance. We're in the gray zone. This Snapchat could be a great place for your family to hang out. What do I mean by that? There are silly facial things you can do. You can turn on these filters that make your 2 people in the video look like a dog. It's adorable. It puts a nose and eyes and a mouth and a tongue. And as silly as it sounds, you see how you're giggling right now. You do this with your kids, and your kids will laugh at you and with you, and you'll be able to save it for long after it's over. Then you're hanging out with your students on Snapchat. What's going to happen at the end? If they see any bullying, anything inappropriate, they're going to be more comfortable coming to you because there's less of a barrier to entry to showing Mom and Dad how the app works because they were giggling and making silly videos. Does that make sense? All right, next we're on to Vine. Now, Vine is going away. Vine announced a couple weeks ago that they're dying and because they can't figure out how to monetize. Vine is owned by Twitter. Twitter's going through some financial struggles. Not that it pertains to this discussion, but it is important to know how their business works and where their money comes from. Vine is an app that is a 6-second video app, mostly square video, that has created celebrities. Students on Vine create crude humor and get millions of followers and then go on to other networks and so on. It has been an incredible launch pad for many students that become famous. I'm not saying that in a good way. WhatsApp Messenger. Now, WhatsApp is an international app. It's an app that uses Wi-Fi to let you communicate with anyone in the world using your actual phone number that you have on your mobile device. What it does is it says, what is your phone number? We'll text you a message. It texts you a message. It verifies that that is really indeed your phone number, and then anyone in the world that has that phone number in their address book then knows your username. It's pretty ingenious. It did very well over the last 7 years. And Facebook got really jealous. They said, man, this is doing really well. So they went and bought WhatsApp. So now WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and Facebook Messenger are all a family of apps, no longer one app, right? Now it's in the gray zone because it does have some built-in features. It's good when Facebook buys something because you're a little bit safer, but no, I do not get paid by Facebook. I don't get paid by anybody except for your school. However, there are still some bad people on there, but it is a lower barrier to entry, or it is a higher barrier to entry for a predator to contact your student if they have to create a phone number, if they have to go and buy a phone number. So it is a little bit better than the app we're about to look at in a moment. Now, my friends, we're in the red zone, and we're doing good on time. This makes me feel good. I'm moving quick. I'm going to need some water when we're done. All right, so we're in the red zone. This is the place if you find your kids hanging out, with the exception of one app, which I may move out of the red zone, and I never do this. But this is the place where your students should never hang out. This is the place where predators hang out. Those of you that have middle school, 0 to 13 years old, and you raise your hand, this is where you pay attention, please. This is where bullying happens. Oh, my students go there because they're looking for positive reinforcement, and they get to express themselves. That is absolutely a terrible thing to start because what I'm about to show you, these apps they breed negative behavior. Okay, so we're going to start with the After School app. I'm going to read a couple of these. After School is an anonymous app that creates a separate chat group for every school. It's been removed twice from the App Store because of threats and arrests. Messages often include bullying, pornography, and alcohol or drug references. Now, each one of these logos is a good, thank you so much for the water. You guys are amazing to me today, I have to tell you. You knew my name when I was pulling in the parking lot without even knowing what I looked like. Now we're on to AskFM. Now, AskFM is the godfather of all social media bullying apps. It's sad. Here's why. AskFM encourages students to ask questions with the option of being anonymous when those that answer the questions. Kids often reveal too much personal information, and cyberbullying is prevalent. Let me quickly describe AskFM. Students will create an AskFM, ask.fm / their name URL, / Josh, right? And what they'll do is people will ask them questions, or they'll ask questions on there, and people will then answer anonymously. So they have a public profile, and they're saying, here I am, anonymously answer things. And that's where bullying happens. AskFM says, and all these bad apps say, express yourself. And they will call up people like me that call them out in the real world. Even though I'm very professional and brands work with me on a big level, they'll say, oh, no, you've got us wrong. There's actually some good stories that come out. You know, there was this one kid in the Midwest. Out of millions of users, we found one positive story, and they'll put that first. But please do not go to their website or any of these other websites. Do not trust them, right? Trust independent people that know how these are used on the street. Next, we have the Burn Book app. Burn Book is an anonymous app for posting text, photos, and audio rumor messages about others. And this is key, what I'm about to say. The app compiles messages by school, so it kind of groups you together. It requires access to your location, and it encourages students, and this is sad, it encourages students to screenshot rumors and save them to their phone, causing bullying. It gamifies your students. If they screenshot something, they get points. The person that took a picture inappropriately of somebody gets points. And then they both get points to take something that was temporary and perhaps make it less than temporary. Next, we're on to the Calculator private photo app. Have you guys seen this? Okay, the Calculator private photo app is designed to help students hide photos and videos from their parents behind an innocent-looking calculator app. This application looks like a calculator, but entering a passcode opens a private area. This is one of the better videos I've ever created. It shows you if your students have ever downloaded it. It gives you some hacks. Do not tell your students I shared this with you. But go look for that logo. Bottom line, if you have a middle schooler or even an elementary school student and they say, hey mom, dad, I want to download a calculator app. No, there's a great calculator on your iPhone, right? Good. Or if they, no, I need a special feature. Great, we'll buy you a Texas Instruments one for $40, okay? Kick Messenger. Now we're on to a really bad app. Kick allows anyone on the app to contact your child and directly message them. It has been known to allow adults to communicate with preteens, and is very difficult to discern who is a predator and who's real. Some adults have been known to use this app to pretend like they're tweens and teens. Kick allows students to bypass text messaging features of their phone. Users can connect with anyone on the network, and they aren't limited to their phone's contact list. It allows predators to burn through usernames. It allows predators to create bots that will communicate with your child and say the following phrases. Hey, are you online right now? Hey, are you there? Are you home yet? And it creates all these little bots that communicate with your students. One of the other problems, if that isn't enough, is that they're based in Canada, so it's harder for our police or our jurisdiction to go and say, hey, there was unfortunately a child abduction. We need to get access to these IP addresses and get this data quickly. It takes a lot longer. So this is a bad place for your students to hang out. Kick Messenger. Ogle is an anonymous app that automatically searches your location for nearby schools. When downloaded, you can view and interact with school feeds, engage on any campus's content, and share or ask anything anonymously. Does that sound scary? Yeah. Let me read the next sentence. Since there's little formal registration, bullies and predators can easily masquerade as students. Happens all the time. Next, we have Omegle. Now look at this age. Oh, it's 18 plus. My kids can't get access to it. Josh, why are you teaching us this? Do you think your kids can get access to just about any app they want? Yeah, that is merely a suggestion, not from us, but from the App Store, and it changes all the time. Omegle is an anonymous text and video chat room that connects strangers to talk with each other. The app allows users to share personal information and contains inappropriate and unmonitored content. Now next we have Uvo. Now Uvo, how many of your students are using Uvo? Yeah, Uvo may go into the gray zone. I may have misjudged it, and that is rare, but Uvo is one of the world's largest video and messaging apps. Think of it like a party line video chat, almost like FaceTime, but you can put 3 of your friends or 4 of your friends on it at once, and you're all chatting using a Wi-Fi signal usually. Parents should be aware that sometimes, in the past, Uvo has been used by predators to contact underage students. You can chat with a lot of different people. Has anyone seen anything bad on Uvo? No, not yet. Okay, good. We may move that into the gray zone, so if you see your students using that, you can go watch the video for free by clicking on this or clicking on the logo on our website where I showed you. Next is the Secret app. Secret is an app that allows people to share messages anonymously within their circle of friends, their friends of friends, and publicly. Students often hide by being anonymous when posting, and they forget, and if you are taking notes, this is something to write down. They forget that being anonymous does not mean being untraceable. You know, we were talking earlier, and I actually get a lot of calls from schools about students that think it's funny because they're having a bad day and they want to say something inappropriate online that could damage other people, and they don't realize that officers can show up on your doorstep, you as a professional, you as a parent, within hours, right? And they think that being anonymous means untraceable. And this is where I want to have a quick talk with you. Many of you in this room are professionals. Your professional reputation is very important because what you do as a living provides a living for your children, for your spouse, right? To go to this school. And you not only need to protect your children, but you need to protect your reputation. And many of these apps, unfortunately, can hurt your reputation. And so that's why it is crucial for you to know that if something goes online, it can actually hurt what you do as well, sadly. We hear that from this often, where parents' reputations are tied to their students. Next, we're on to the Slingshot app. Slingshot is a comparison app marketed to young boys that allows users to vote and create polls. Slingshot users can create any type of poll, including polls that are not appropriate for teens. Now, you're going to see a sister version of this app. This is Slingshot. You're going to see a pink version of it with an upside-down version of that logo that is called the Wishbone app in a moment. These are in alphabetical order, and they're not together. The problem with this app, and the reason why it's in the red zone, first of all, these polls can be derogatory, meaning inappropriate. Second, when we reviewed it, and I don't think they've cleaned up their act, they had very inappropriate 15 and 30-second videos that you would not want your middle schooler to watch. Just trust us there. My staff was looking at that and we went, wow, this is not okay for middle schoolers. And many parents have agreed. So Slingshot, very inappropriate. You can't skip through the ads. Imagine YouTube where you're watching a video and it puts up something that's really only adult-friendly. Only a college fraternity guy would probably be appropriate seeing. Okay, next, Street Chat app. Street Chat is a live photo sharing board designed for middle school, high school, and college students. Students feel the freedom to send mean posts because they do not have to confirm their identity. Now, Street Chat encourages you to take random photos of people without their permission and post it on there, and it gives you points and so on. Tumblr. How many of us have heard of Tumblr? Yeah, most of the room. I'm going to tell you why Tumblr might not be a safe place. It can be okay, but I want to warn you. Tumblr is one of the world's most popular blogging platforms. Users tend not to use their real names, so it can be hard to find blogs without knowing the username. But oftentimes, users will use their real name and it will change their Google results. The problem with Tumblr, a couple years ago before they got bought by Yahoo, their terms of service said, we are okay with pornography and we will not take down pornographic videos or images. They flat out said that. I'm not a lawyer, but we do read all the terms of service, and we did put it in the video. They were bought by Yahoo. They have very fancy lawyers that have hidden that information in there, but they have a huge search box at the top of Tumblr that allows your student to search for anything, and it's still on there. So you can find anything you want in Tumblr, sadly. Next is the What's Goodly app. What's Goodly is an anonymous, location-based social polling application designed for college students. It has a 17+ age restriction, but younger students are always able to see polls, vote, and even download it and participate. Students are smart. There's a lot of questions about dating, relationships, alcohol, and smoking on the app. Now we're on to Whisper. Whisper is another red zone app that is a godfather of all cyberbullying apps. Whisper is an anonymous social network that allows people to express themselves. Whisper reveals a user's location, which makes it easy for people to arrange to meet up. This also makes it easier for predators to locate and connect with users. Once again, express yourself, kids. Here we are. We're here to let people positively say nice things about you. Do you guys think that people are positive when they're anonymous? We as adults, we know that that's not the case, right? And next, Wishbone app. Wishbone's a comparison app. This is the girl version of the Slingshot app. They're getting smarter. They're hyper-targeting based on whether it's a boy or a girl. Once again, inappropriate videos that you perhaps would not want your student to watch. Now we're on to the Yik Yak app. Yik Yak acts like a local bulletin board for your area by showing the most recent posts of other users around you. Think of it like this. Yik Yak is an anonymous version of Twitter, and it lets you see the tweets that are within 3 to 5 miles of you. A couple years ago, a lot of bomb threats on this app, and I would get calls from all over the country. Hey, can you talk to our students about how being anonymous does not mean being untraceable? Now we're over to YouNow. YouNow is a popular broadcasting platform where students watch and stream real-time videos. Now, the problem with these is they do not have enough staff to watch all the videos and to listen. So if you're somebody who were to report that it's inappropriate, unfortunately, your students are probably watching it for another hour or so. All right, so now, how many of your students have Instagram? How many of you know what Finstagram is? A Finsta, okay? A third of the room. I want to show you a hack that teaches you whether your students have a Finstagram. I don't know anybody in the world that's teaching this. Please do not tell your students that you learned this. They will hate me. I'm very hated on the internet by 13-year-old students because I give away all these techniques. You first get your kid's phone, and you look in their Instagram. And here's their feed. Oh, my friend had a book signing. Cool, neat. The next thing you do is you click down here on their headshot down there. You see that? Their head may be there, or it may be a silhouette of someone else, like a robot, a hollow head. In my case, it is my face. And you click on that. The next thing that you do, oh, there we go. I've got arrows now. I added arrows for you guys. The next thing you do is you look up at the upper top. You see up here next to my username, do you see that down little arrow right there? That little tiny thing right there that we're pointing to, if you see that, that means your students have multiple accounts. And what that means is, and I'm going to explain why, when you click that down arrow, you will see multiple accounts popping down. Why is this bad, Josh? Many students will have an Instagram that their parents are following. How many of you follow your students online? Okay, half of the room, maybe more than half of the room. But then students will have a Finstagram. An Instagram is a real Instagram. A Finstagram is a fake Instagram. They will have a secondary account where they're logged into the same app because the app gives you 2 ways. You can manage up to 5 accounts, as you can see up there. They give you access to log in and change it, and then your students feel more inclined to post not inappropriate stuff, but to be themselves. Many students don't know that all these other apps that you grant access to in Instagram can take your information and put it online and share it with Google without your permission. Happens all the time. I get these calls, unfortunately. My daughter's trying to apply to Harvard, and all of her Instagram and her Finstagram photos are all over the web, but she is private online. This can't be true. How did this happen? Who is this other company? Oh, well, this company is something that she granted access to, and you didn't know it, but you granted them access to take all the photos and put them out under her name, and now they're advertising next to them. We'll see if we can get them back, but there's no real way. So unfortunately, I've shown you a way to see if your student has 2 Instagram accounts, and I also want you to talk to them about, are they proud of every picture they have online? Because if they're not, it can change their Google results. How do we talk to them about that? Well, let me see if, first of all, if you want to, there's no sales, and I haven't even talked about this school, but I have stuff that might be able to save a life in this community. If you want to visit our website and log in, it is 100% free. You will get 3 videos a week, 30 videos over 10 weeks that will help you protect your family. If you see anything that is helpful right now for college prep or keeping your middle schoolers safe, now is the time to open up your phone and go to joshsvideos.com to log in. You can do this after or right now. But what I want to do is show you some other stuff. I showed you the 3-step plan. And if we have a moment, I would like to teach you how to search for your students online. Is that fair? Can I show you how to protect your kids and their online image? I showed you how to dial up with your student. I might even be able to do this. But we really talked a lot about safety, because that's what I promised you here today. I'd like to show you just a little bit about ways that you can, these are some of our videos. What is the calculator app? Okay, so how can I monitor my students online? Well, I'm going to show you the way that not only employers are going to do it someday, but colleges, and it'll also keep your kids safe. So if I can give you one tool, and I don't get paid by them, but if I can give you one tool that would do everything a little bit, then it would make it much easier because we're all busy. Start with Google on your phone or on your laptop or your desktop. Start by searching for your kid's first and last name. Here's what that looks like, Josh Oakes. When you search for these two keywords, you're telling Google, hey Google, here's 2 words. I'm searching for this candidate for our college, and I want you to find the word Josh and the word Oakes on the web. Go scour the whole internet. Find them in any order on any web page. Return to me the first 10 results that are a good fit, the authoritative pages for this. And what that does is Google runs around the web and it finds them in any order. The word Oakes could be at the top of the page and Josh at the bottom. Do you think they're going to find lots of other people when they search for me that way? Yeah, they are. And I often ask students when I'm live with 1,000 of them in the room, how many of you found lots of other people? And 2/3 of the students raise their hand because they are searching for themselves in this way online. So then colleges are going to get frustrated. They're going to search for first name and last name in quotes. And this is where they start to hone in on your students. This is what they do. They say, all right, so for the first Google result, I asked for Josh and Oakes in any order, anywhere on the page. But now what we're going to do is we're going to search for the word Josh and the word Oakes. I'm going to put them in quotes because I want Josh, I want a space, and then I want the word Oakes in that order. It could be at the top, it could be at the bottom, but now colleges and anyone else are starting to hone in on your student. They're still going to find some other people. So then they're going to go to first name plus last name plus the city, either where you live or where you're applying from, the school that you're in. Next, they're going to search for first name plus last name plus the school that you're applying from. And then next, they're going to search perhaps for first name, middle name, and last name. If they find all kinds of other people that are inappropriate, they're going to say, who is this student? I don't see congruency between their college application and their online results. And then last, this is something you can do. Search for your student's email address. You never know if it's leaked online. If they have a URL or if they have a username that they think is funny, search for that in quotes. See if it's public out there. Remember how I told you the 0 to 13? You shouldn't be able to know what your students are doing online, thinking online, or where they're at. They may not know. They're sharing that. Right? Okay, next. I made a tool in politics that helps me do this every day. It's 100% free. Here's what it is. I thought, oh man, I'm the guy that's really good at Google. And here I am, I have the best Google results out of all the other candidates, and I have 0 money, but I'm really good at this in a scrappy way. And I said, I have to Google myself every week to make sure somebody isn't, the newspapers aren't saying, he's way too young, or I'm not missing something. I want to have the best results. I said, wouldn't it be nice? Because this takes about 5 to 10 minutes, and not everybody has that every week, and I didn't, and you probably don't either, you're busy. I said, wouldn't it be nice if somebody would email me every Friday or something and say, here's a series of buttons, click on each one, and we will auto-populate the Google search bar so that you get those Google results. We'll save you time. All you gotta do is click on these 7 buttons, Josh. Well, that would save me time. So I made a nerdy tool called Footprint Friday. It's a free tool to monitor your students' online footprint in 5 minutes every week. I gave it to my staff, gave it to a few family members, and now it has 1,000 families in it that use it each week. Here's how it works. You're not allowed to sign up for it or ask me about it until you watch the 7-minute video. I do not have time to explain it. What I do have time to do is show you how it works, and you watch the video to see why I use it for myself. Hard to see up here, but this is the email you get. It says search Google for Josh Oakes without quotes, with quotes. Search Google Images for Josh Oakes, and all these other things. Search Josh's email address. You fill out a form on the right. It lets you put in 2 of your kids in there, and it emails you every Friday. It automatically adds you to our newsletter so that you get our safety videos as well. You're welcome. Okay, what did real moms say about this? Josh, I love this service. I showed my middle school daughter just how easy it was to see her picture, her age, her activities, her school, her address, her login info, all based on the things she put on the web. She was able to see a few older men on her Pinterest, which freaked her out, and she took down her info. All right, I've given you a lot of the safety stuff. I've done my best to squeeze it in. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day.